almost like the Flashpoint, where it starts, one of the key matrix lines that will help shatter this status centralized system.
Hello friends, Jay-Z here with Flashpoint Radio. It is Friday, August 3rd, 2012. I failed to file a report yesterday due to my involvement with a red light camera protest in Hazelwood. The first protest from Missouri citizens against red light traffic cameras, and I'd say it was a success. We had over a dozen people there. Multiple news outlets took pictures and ran interviews. I had some interviews of participants and of U.S. congressional candidate Robin Hamlin. I'll put that all together and hopefully have that for you this weekend. I was set yesterday to cover the Olympics, so I've got double duty here on Friday, and I would like to get right to it. We will start with that wild and wacky opening ceremony from the Telegraph. The Olympic opening ceremony started well and then got creepy by Ian Martin. Yes, it goes over how the beginning part of the ceremony was quite enjoyable. It followed the progression from the Agrarian Society of Great Britain into the Industrial Revolution and beyond. I felt that they might have been better served focusing on Magna Carta or British common law, which has spread prosperity more across this world than what they did focus on. And what they did focus on for the centerpiece of it was their nationalized health service, their NHS, socialized medicine that they've had since 1948, the year the Olympics were last in London, England. And well, as we'll see some pictures, it was quite a strange celebration. We had children dancing, doing backflips on hospital beds, surrounded by nurses. And then we had this procession, which involved what I'll call a dead, mummified baby. I'm not sure what this was to mark or notate, but it possibly could be a nod to their reproductive rights or abortion, but who knows? You know, with all of the imagery elsewhere in the opening ceremonies, it's not that far-fetched considering we have an evil wizard dancing about being attacked by a bunch of Mary Poppins. Yes, that wizard obviously epitomizes capitalism and free society, and Mary Poppins and the socialized healthcare of the Great Britain system will save the day. I want to go back to an article from 2004 just to highlight what the Olympics is all about and what you might not know is involved in it. Rings torch have ties to Hitler's Nazi propaganda. The torch relay that culminates in the ceremonial lighting of the flame at Olympic Stadium was ordered by Adolf Hitler, who tried to turn the 1936 Berlin Games into a celebration of the Third Reich. And it was Hitler's Nazi propaganda machine that popularized the 5 interlocking rings as the symbol of the games. So yes, two of the things that are most notably recognizable in the Olympics came from Herr Führer, Adolf Hitler. Aren't you glad that the global community, global sports, and your country are involved in this? How many people do you know that carried Hitler's torch this year in 2012? And well, this is 2012, and one new part of the Olympics this year is social media. Coverage, criticism, comments, all found on Twitter and Facebook and other various forms. But Twitter, namely, has caused quite the controversy this year. From Yahoo Sports, Greece expels Olympic athlete over racist tweets. Triple jumper Voula Papakristou was expelled from Greece's Olympic team Wednesday for her comments on Twitter mocking African immigrants and expressing support for a far-right party. I do not support what she said, but I support her freedom to say it. I find funny the fact that someone obviously coached her or actually wrote her apology, and here's just a piece of it. My dream is connected to the Olympic Games, and I could not possibly participate if I did not respect their values. Therefore, I could never believe in discrimination between human beings and races. I would like to apologize to all my friends and fellow athletes. Well, her initial tweets clearly show that she does believe in discrimination between human beings and races, and she should not be forced to say anything she doesn't believe, but that is what the IOC tends to do, as it did in this case. Another Olympic athlete banned and sent home from the Olympics from the UK Daily Mail Online Swiss footballer sent home from Olympics in disgrace for calling South Koreans Mongoloids on Twitter and saying they can go burn after a 2-1 defeat. Michel Morganella was sent home after a 2-1 loss to South Korea. He posted some disparaging remarks aimed at South Korea and its people. And, well, he is now the biggest racist in the Olympics. But he is getting some defenders, and you might not believe where they're coming from. From the Taipei Times, London 2012 Olympics, Swiss soccer player wins sympathy on internet in South Korea. Yes, the same country that he aimed his remarks at are standing up for him, or at least standing up for the full facts. And the full facts are that he was berated after the match online by South Koreans. One person, quote, said, "We already run the game, so we just had to ignore him. But we just had to visit his Facebook page, talk about his parents. Even I would be mad, and it was unnecessary to ruin the young players' Olympics." Another user said, quote, "We were rude to him on the internet first, and he reacted to it. But saying that he is a racist, I think it's gone too far." So at least he has some people looking at both sides of the issues. And when you poke and poke and poke, do you not expect a response? So we at least need to view the response and the poking in the same vein and not simply point out the remarks made by this athlete. And another Twitter scandal, this one directly involving Twitter, from the Los Angeles Times, Twitter's Olympic-sized blunder. Independent journalist Guy Adams had his Twitter account suspended. Why? Well, it turns out he was posting some disparaging remarks about the NBC coverage, like how they're not showing live coverage and actually pretending that the coverage you're watching is live. He also went on to post the corporate email of an exec at NBC asking people to email their complaints. Well, that constituted a breach of Twitter's standards, and they eliminated him. Turns out NBC filed a complaint about him. Oh, a little thin skin there, aren't you, NBC? But the best part about it is it turns out that Twitter's own employees actually put these tweets in front of NBC. Twitter's own employees contacted NBC to let them know and to push them to make a complaint. So yes, the blame needs to be on Twitter and NBC as well, but Twitter for initiating this censorship and then looking for justification for the censorship. Seems like they wanted to censor, but they needed NBC to make a complaint. And, well, they got that complaint. And here's a funny story, or at least I find it funny, from CBS News. How much are Olympic medals actually worth? So you get that gold medal, you think it's gold? No, it's not. It hasn't been gold since 1912. The gold medal consists of just over 1% actual gold. The rest is made up of 92.5% silver, which at least it's silver, and is only worth about $644. I find this to be amusing. The bronze medal is made up of 97% copper and is only worth about $4.70. So not only did you only get third place, your medal will not buy you a value meal at McDonald's. How embarrassing. All the money that is spent on the Olympics, and the bronze medal is only worth $4.70. And on top of that, from the Huffington Post, Olympians could owe the IRS thousands in taxes on medals, cash, bonuses. Yes, the United States is one of the only countries that actually tax athletes on the worth of their medals. So yes, that $644 medal you got for swimming, Missy Franklin, Ryan Lochte, and others, yeah, you're getting taxed on that. But hey, at least you're going to have as much sex as you possibly could want. From ESPN.com, will you still medal in the morning? The real games in the Olympic Village will not be televised. Read this entire article. It is disgusting. It basically glorifies the fact that 150,000 condoms were passed out to athletes in the Olympic Village this year, up from the 2000 Olympics when only 70,000 condoms weren't enough. So they've increased it every year since then. And basically reports state that there's a whorehouse and a brothel being run out of the Olympic Village, that athletes are simply breeding with each other. And this one line I'd like to take out of this article says this: "Everyone's meeting people and trying to hook up with someone, which is perfectly understandable, if not to be expected. Olympians are young, supremely healthy people who've been training with the intensity of combat troops for years. So, as Hitler would probably want, people are pushing Olympic athletes to breed. encouraging indiscriminate sex between world-class athletes. Sounds like eugenics to me, veiled in free sex and free love. And finally, from CBS, local.com, out of DC, married Olympians. We can't live together during the games, but gay couples can. An Australian Olympic married couple claims they have been prohibited from sharing a room in the London Olympic Village, even though gay couples are reportedly allowed to do so. Yes, they state that since they are married and of the opposite sex, they cannot have their own room in the Olympic Village. But if you're of the same sex and homosexual, that is okay. So yes, sex between unmarried people, 150,000 condoms, sex between homosexuals staying in the same room, all okay. If you're married and heterosexual, watch out. You do not have those freedoms. So yes, the Olympics are not all that they seem to be. They don't stand for what you think they stand for. They stand for globalism. They stand for international corporations. They stand for losses of freedom and the end of individualism. They do not stand for sovereignty. They stand for the New World Order. And I, personally, will not watch any more of them. That's all I have for you here on Flashpoint Radio. Thank you for viewing. Jay-Z signing off, saying God bless and keep your eyes to the sky.